Okay.
All right. There we go. Hey, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, man. It is your guy, Mr. Willie Ray Johnson Jr., man. And as I told y'all this week, I was going to be here on Friday night for a little edutainment, man. I got another fella tonight to talk to, man. Y'all know usually when I come on here, I'm with my main man, Mr. Terrence Hill, who is doing his thing out there as always. But, man, I wanted to get a chance to introduce to some and bring to others this gentleman right here, man. Y'all can see the trophies behind this man's head. This guy, man, is gonna bring an amazing amount of energy. Every time I get a chance to hear this guy talk on our monthly conferences, man, he always brings a ton of energy and always brings a ton of knowledge. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls from Detroit, Michigan, I want to give the floor to Mr. Jon Pettiford-El. Mr. L, come on and talk to us, man. Introduce yourself to the people.
How you doing? I'm glad to be here. Like I said, I am a little under the weather, so excuse me. I probably look a little bit ran over, and I'm trying to kind of getting over a little, I don't know, some little cold or something. But I'm here, so I'll bring as much energy as I can. But I don't know about all that stuff you just said about a whole bunch of energy.
Man, it's all good. Hey, thank you again, man. Like I said, especially with you being under the weather, man, and still taking the time to, bless old country boy here with your presence and your knowledge, man. So what I'm gonna do, man, is like I said, I know you under the weather, so I don't want to keep you long at all. But again, I did want to bring you on because April is Financial Literacy Month, and I have been, pushing out the message to, tell people, hey, man, you got to get engaged, you got to get involved, and a lot of people, when I talk to them, the first thing they tell me is, well, you don't need that because you got a retirement. You doing good for yourself. But I really think that people miss the boat on what it really means to be financially literate, and not only to know what it means, but to actually apply it. So my first question for you, sir, is two parts. All right. The first one is, tell me what your definition of financial literacy is, and what was your life like before you gained financial literacy?
Okay, I think those are two very good questions. First and foremost, I think financial literacy is one of the most important educations that we could ever get, financial education, because we live in a system that's based on money. And the problem is we don't know the rules of money. And America is a capitalistic system, meaning that someone is being capitalized upon. That's always the person that does not understand the system. So a lot of people say, well, why don't they teach this in school? Why would they? You become their competition. They're not trying to breed more competition. As you look at all these quote unquote wealthy people, I see people that make $1 billion and $10 billion, all this. I don't hear none of them saying, I got enough money. They keep saying, I want to make some more, I want to make some more, I want to make some more. So that's the kind of environment that we live in. So this idea that somebody's just going to decide one day to just share it, I just don't see that happening. So my idea of financial literacy is understanding the rules of money, basic education, understanding tax mechanics. I think that's important because that determines how much money we're going to have. Understanding how debt works, how investments work, understanding your credit. All these things play a part in your finances because most people say, like you said something about, people say, well, you got a military retirement, you okay. And people have this idea that if I just had some more money, I'd be okay. Because that's kind of like what they're saying to you, because you got some money coming in, you're okay. That's not true. Mike Tyson made $400 million and he went bankrupt. Evander Holyfield made $500 million and his house was in foreclosure about 10 years ago. So this idea just about because you got some coming in don't mean you're going to have some. So I think that's very important for people to understand. So what we got to do is understand that, yes, you need more money, but your finances are not one-dimensional. It's multidimensional. So you got to understand how do you minimize those taxes legally? Because it'll be different if everybody just paid the same amount in tax. That's not true. Because if you just Google Netflix paid no taxes, you'll find out they made 800 million, ain't paid none. If you Google Amazon paid no tax, you'll find out they made 11 billion, ain't paid none. Well, here you go over here, you make 20,000, 50,000, 100,000, you pay something. What's the difference? It must be something you don't understand about taxation. So what we do is we say, look, you got to understand, how do you legally minimize your taxes in the confines of the system without doing, see, because a lot of people say, well, whatever happened to that Wesley Snipes stuff? Well, Wesley Snipes did tax evasion. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about tax minimization. So there's a difference. So you got to understand tax minimization. How do you make sure your credit is good? Even if you're not buying stuff on credit, your credit need to be good, because that affects a whole bunch of other things. You got to make sure your expenses are low, and you got to make sure that as much as you can, get the debt people out of your pocket. And last but not least, you got to understand how to pick investments. How do you pick what's a good investment? What's a good rate of return? So you got to understand, what is the stock market? What is the S&P 500? What is a mutual fund? What is term insurance? How's that work? What's whole life insurance? So those basic things, because finances are very turnkey. They work the same way in everywhere in the world if you understand the rules, the confines. So, for example, if you're playing basketball, if I play basketball here in Michigan, it's the same game down there with you. It's, well, I was going to say you take 2 steps as a travel, but as I watch the NBA these days, they take 3, 4, 5 steps as no travel. So that might be changing. That part might be changing. But realistically, it's supposed to be you dribble, and if you walk with the ball, that's a travel, and you can't double dribble and all that kind of stuff. So if I play golf here in Michigan, golf works the same way down there. So I think what people got to understand is, when you understand finances, the rules of the financial world rules, they work the same way everywhere. So they're very turnkey. And I think if you do that, you'll be in a better place. Now, my life and financial literacy, because that was the second part of the question, correct?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I really don't understand where I would be. I don't know where I would be without the understanding of finance that I have today. I went from being absolutely broke, being in debt, bad credit. All these things were going on before I got involved in learning all these different things. So my life was totally upside down as to what you see today. I am a picture perfect scenario of what I would say the American dream is now, because of my financial literacy. Now, do I want some more things and be able to do some more things and all that? Yeah, great. But I'm nowhere near where I used to be. I haven't worked a job in 15 years because of all these things and building a business and all that. But I know we'll get to that question. But no, financial literacy is of the utmost importance, because I have more invested than I've ever had in my life. I live my life pretty much on a debt-free basis. I really don't know where I would be in this economy, trying to figure out how to pay off credit cards and how to pay car notes and how to find, if I was looking for a home. I don't know. This is crazy. So what me and my wife decided to do is we're going to not use these credit cards. We paid off our house a long time ago. As a matter of fact, we wrote a check for it. So we're not thinking about no mortgage payments, nothing like that. And we decided to keep it that way. So I'm in a much better place because of financial literacy and understanding and being around financial folks that understand finances.
Awesome. That's good, man. Thank you so much. So now you said, you told us what your life was like before your financial literacy and how you don't know how you would be able to do things now. But now that you do have that, just give us a little bit more like into your life. I know you said you don't have a house payment, you don't worry about stuff like that, but just kind of paint a bigger picture for us, man. Because like I said, a lot of people think that, if you can just get by, if you can just, take care of the minimalistic things. Okay, I want you to talk from the perspective, if you can, sir, of what it's like to not have to worry about those things, but to also live in abundance.
I think the one word that sums it up is freedom. I get up when I want to. I go to bed when I want to. I do what I want to do. I spend time with the people that I want to spend time with. And I think those things, I think what people really want, I think they want enough money to pay all their bills. Whether that's $5,000 a month, $10,000 a month, whatever it is. but they also want the freedom to be able to spend time with their family, their kids, their wives, their spouses, and all this, travel, do whatever they want to do, but not have to worry about money. That's where my life is. I can do whatever I want, go wherever I want, and I don't have to worry about bills. Excuse me, sorry. But one of the most important things that I think I have done is build a different type of income, because I think it's only one way to get free. See, most people are focused on linear pay because this is what we've been taught. We've been taught to go to school, get a good education, get a good job, and work hard. There's absolutely nothing wrong with those things. But the problem is, just look at this society. We live in the wealthiest country in the history of the world. Look at the people that work for 30 years and ask yourself, would you trade places with them? Do you want their life? In most cases, the answer is no. They don't have financial success. They have a lot of debt. They have a lot of problems. They don't have enough money to pay for everything. So, to me, I think people got to understand that linear pay is not the answer. Because, see, what we do is we chase one-time money or linear money. So the first question we have is, how much are y'all going to pay me per hour? What's my salary? That's linear pay. Linear pay works like this, ladies and gentlemen. You work 1 hour, you get paid 1 hour. You work 1 week, you get paid 1 week. If you don't work, what happens? You already know. You don't get paid. Well, you can't afford that system, because the minute you stop working is the minute you stop making money. And last time I checked, it ain't free to live anywhere in this world. So you're going to need to have some money coming in without you working. And the very minute, as soon as you start to build that, I think you start to change your life. When I was introduced to 2 wealth principles, one of them was leveraged income, and the other one was residual income. Leveraged income means you make money off not only what you do, but what somebody else does. See, if you have a job, you believe in leveraged income. You just want to be leveraged. Your job don't just have you as an employee. They got hundreds of them or thousands of them. They multiply their productivity in a 24-hour period to make more money. Well, how do you multiply your money in a 24-hour period? See, you got to believe that there's a system better than just trade time for money. Number 2, residual income. You got to get paid multiple times for work you do one time. You can't work 1 hour, get paid 1 hour. I'm still getting paid for stuff I did 10 years ago. I'm still getting paid for stuff I did 20 years ago. Now, sometimes people say, well, John, I don't really believe in that. I don't really believe people get paid like that. I want y'all to think about something. Think about Netflix. It's a company that mostly everybody has. They have access to it, right? I started with Netflix. This is a true story. I signed up for Netflix in 2003. You understand, Willie, it's 2024. So that means I've been a Netflix customer for 21 years, 2 decades. They signed me up once. They've been making $1 or $2 profit on me for 20 years. Well, your phone bill works the same way. Your internet bill works the same way. You see, people have figured out how for you to bring them a little money forever. You got to figure out how somebody bring you a little money forever. See, this is how you start. See, what's the difference between somebody that makes $50,000 and somebody that makes $50 million? Because last time I checked, they say God is no respecter of people. So it don't matter who you are. You can be blessed if you work inside the confines of God's blessings. Well, these are principles. See, seed time and harvest time. You sow a seed, you get a harvest, right? Well, if you sow the seed of poverty, you're going to get a harvest of poverty. If you sow seeds of wealth principles, you get wealth. Okay, you get an abundance of wealth. And that's the difference. That's the difference. If you start working on different types of ways to get paid, and then when the money hits your hand, you know what to do with it. Now you will look up over time. All these things come a thing of the past, sitting around worried and all that. And the biggest problem that breaks up families and marriages, money, the stress, the heart attacks, all this, money. Imagine your life with no money issues. Imagine how you would feel. See, they say money can't buy happiness. I'm not sure that's true. Soon as people get some money, they start buying stuff that make them happy. You know? So I don't know. I'm not sure about that. But that's a story for a different day. But go ahead with your next question.
Oh, man. Oh, man. You know, it's funny that you talk about you know, what you put out there and what you plant. I did a post earlier this month, was talking about, you know, people would do everything to avoid getting hereditary diseases. You know, they'll do anything to make sure that their heart is healthy, don't get diabetes, and other stuff. But you know, going to what you said, wealth, or excuse me, not wealth, poverty is a generational disease too. You know, that's hereditary. If you don't learn how to break that and put yourself in positions to where you can defeat it, then all you're gonna do is just keep passing that on from generation to generation. So yeah, I like how you said that. The man said, "Hey, my grandpa told me one time, Mr. P. He said, money might not buy your happiness, boy, but it'll damn sure let you pick your misery."
That's true. That's true.
Yes, sir. So my next question for you, sir, is this one right here. All right, because I mean, you got a little bit more. You have a wealth of knowledge when it comes to this. I've been doing what we're doing for a lot less time than you have. But what is it that you would say prevents people from obtaining financial literacy? You know, is it? I got my own thoughts about it, but I want to hear from you because, like you said, you ain't had a job in a very, very long time, and you've been building your organization. Like I said, we can see the troubles behind your head from, you know, just the outstanding things that you've been able to do. But why would you say, in your opinion, most folks don't obtain financial literacy?
I think it's a couple of reasons. I think the first reason is environment. I think people don't put themselves around people that are conducive to financial literacy. If there's not, if so you got to think about it like this. People go from kindergarten to the 12th grade, and it's never mandated that they learn money. So they go 12 years, never learn money. Now they'll teach you about a rhombus and a parallelogram and all this, and then you go off to college, and people go into different things in college, and it's not mandated that you learn money there either. Unless you take financial courses, you will never learn anything about money. So you'd have 15, 16, 17 years of schooling and never learn money. So if it's not at the school, and most people get their understanding about money from people close to them, their mother, their father. And the game plan is always that same one that we always hear. Go to school, get a good education, get a good job, everything gonna be okay. Not true. So our parents don't understand it. The school is not teaching it. So we're not in an environment where it's happening. So I think we got to get around people or systems that can teach it to us. That's number one. Number two, I think it's a mentality issue as well. I think people have these mentalities that we have this idea that we are deserving of a good job. There's nothing wrong with a job. But when do we start having a mentality that we're deserving of a good business? That thought process rarely comes to mind. 95% of the people in this country, first idea, if they need some money, they say, well, let me go find me a job. They don't say, let me go get me a skill that I can create something. I can build something. I think even if a person goes to college and gets a degree in something, I think they need to turn that degree into a business. I think that makes more sense to go work for somebody. Now, that's just my opinion on this. So I think it's mentality. I think it's environment. And those things, you know, I think, but by the time people figure it out, if they ever do, they're too old. It's too late. They don't got time on their hands like they used to. I think what people have to do is use the job as a crutch, meaning use your job as a blessing that it is. The job will help you pay bills. It'll help you take care of your family. But you need to understand that that's not the last stop. That's just a stepping stone while you're building assets. income producing assets. So think about it. You're supposed to buy time on your job, and while you're making money, you're supposed to take some of that money and put it into something that can grow. They call it a 401k or an investment account. And someday over time, that investment account is supposed to be big enough that it'll pay you enough money to replace the job income. so that job is really just designed to buy time while you're investing and building income producing assets. Now, one of the other things that a person can do, they can say, okay, let me build a part-time business while I'm working this job. Because see, all the risk is now taken out of that. The job takes care of the day-to-day. You ain't got to worry about your family. You got a job. But now, those 2 to 4 hours a day extra, put that into a business. Now you start building equity or ownership faster at a faster pace than just investing. I think that's what people need to do.
Awesome. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna take a quick pause right here just to let you know. I hope y'all got something to write with and something to write on, because hey, this fella right here is giving out free game tonight, man. I really do appreciate you, sir, so much. So that brings me to my next question, man. Like I remember the first time I heard this story, and you said I fired my boss at 34 years old.
Mm-hmm.
At 34 years old, sir, I was still in the military. Okay, I'm nothing against the military. I've enjoyed my time what I did, but to hear you say you fired your boss, my question for you is this: what was that experience like? And then what has it been like for you to help people do exactly what you did and fire their boss?
Well, I was at a crossroads at my life. I had been building my business on a part-time basis for a while. And I was at a crossroads. I needed to go to a different place financially that I knew my job was not going to take me to. And most people would call me crazy. At that time, about 15 years ago, I was averaging about $33 an hour. I had benefits, as they say, medical and all these little things, right? So most people looked at me like I was crazy. When I decided I ain't working no more jobs, I'm going full steam ahead in business. It was scary, because you don't know what's going to happen from one day to the next. But what the biggest illusion is, it's more risky to depend on a job than it is to depend on a business. A lot of people think it's the opposite. They say, oh, no, business is riskier. No, it's not. See, at any given time, somebody could walk into the job and say, we just don't think you're doing your job. At any given time of day, they can just say, you know what, the company's going a different direction. We don't need your position anymore. That can happen. It happens every day. At the very least in business, you are the key to your own destiny. You can either be what take you all the way to the top, all the way to the bottom. And if I'm going to lose in life, I want to lose based on something I did, not based on somebody else's opinion of me. When you have a job, it's just based on somebody else's opinion. So I knew that I was not going to make the money that I wanted to make on my job. I felt the job was holding me back. So I stepped out on faith. And I got out there and continued to build my business. And that was 15 years ago. I ain't seen them. Last time they seen them was last time I seen them, as vice versa. Last time they seen me is last time I seen them. We ain't got to talk no more about nothing. And crazy thing, right after that, the position I had was eliminated probably 6 months later. So even if I stuck around, it would have been bad news for me. So it is scary because you're going into the unknown. But I think that you're gonna pay your dues somewhere. And all that time while I was working my job and building part-time my business, I was paying my dues. I was ready, but I didn't know I was ready. Now, sometimes people like their job. They can stay on their job and still have a business and be happy. I wanted to do more to help people and be able to put them in positions to build wealth, build their finances. So I've been going ever since.
Wow. Now, what has it been like for you to help other people do what you've done? Like, what is that feeling like to like look at someone, you know, when you first get them and like it's like a, I'm not gonna call them a project. I'm just gonna say like it's a puzzle helping them figure out their next steps. What has it been like for you to watch somebody go from that position, like you said, you're someone who needed a change, and then to watch them be where, you know what I'm saying, like they don't have the day-to-day stress and worries?
I think it's one of my great joys. It gives me a little bit more meaning to my work. The work I did before was, I mean, I did some work that kind of made people feel good. I was a personal shopper, so I dressed and wardrobe people. That was one of the things that I did. And putting people in good looking clothing, making them look good and feel good, that was a good thing. But I wanted to do more than that. I wanted to position people to be successful financially, because I think that's one of the most important things to most people. And the reason I say that is because we spend most of our time trying to get that. We spend 8 hours a day trying to get to financial success. We spend an hour in traffic each way. So we spend 8 to 10 to 12 hours a day trying to get to financial success. So if I can help somebody get on that road, I like that. That makes me feel good. And I understand this. The only reason I have a shot is because somebody gave me a shot. And I know most people are not in position to get a shot. The world is unrelenting. The world will stomp on you, tear you up, and spit you out. The job is not coming to save you. The government is not coming to save you. We're in the midst of election season. People are thinking that they're going to get some president elected, whichever one it is, and it's going to fix them. That couldn't be further from the truth, folks. I'll prove something to you. When I first got in business, I was very young, my early 20s. Bill Clinton was the president, and he was a Democratic president. And I started to learn this concept of income shifting then. So I was income shifting and started to change my life back then. That was a Democrat president. After him, that was George Bush.
Yes, sir.
George Bush there for 8 years. He's Republican. My income still grew. I still income shifted. The business principle still worked. And then after that, that was Obama. Obama was there 8 years. We're back to the Democrat. I still income shifted. I still grew my finances. I still started making more and more money. Then we had Donald Trump. That was 4 years. And as crazy as upside down as things were then, I still kind of built my business. Still income shifted. Made lots of money. Now we got Joe Biden. Still making money. Still lowering taxes. Still growing my business. My income grew through all those different presidents. Now, one of them presidents came to my house and said, "Hey, let me help you get straight, John." Not one. Now, I get that, yes, we have different political people that align with our beliefs, and we want to try to elect those people. But just understand something. They're not going to get you to financial success. That's the one thing you just take that part off the table when you're making your decision. Now, if it's about some other stuff, okay, fine. Like right now, I talk to people. Excuse me. It's terrible. But I'm going to get through it. But I have people that I talk to, and they'll say, man, we need to get such and such elected because these prices are high. They say these prices are high. I say, yeah, the prices may be high. That's true. And they say the price going to go back down. Now, what do you think about this, Willie? You've been living a little while.
Yes, sir.
Do you remember when a Snickers bar was about 50 cents?
I do, sir.
I remember a Snickers bar was 35 cents.
Okay.
Do you think the Snickers bar is ever going back to 50 cents and 35 cents?
No, sir.
Does it matter who get elected?
No, sir.
See, we got to get real with this because we'll be upside down and go in the wrong direction. And you'll see something on a commercial, somebody tell a lie, and you see the commercial, and you say, yeah, that's what we need. No, you need to understand the prices ain't come back no matter who get elected. You know why? The business owner sets the price, not the president, not the Congress, not the Senate. The business owners, they make the price. So here's what happens. Here's why most Americans are at a disadvantage. If you make $20,000 a year on your job, and I make $100,000 a year on my business or $100,000 a year on my job, don't matter. If gas prices go up, they go up for both of us, right?
Yes, sir.
For both of us. Now, if I'm a business owner, though, if my expenses go up, living expenses, I got an option. My option is let me raise my prices a little bit to offset the inflation. Is this true? This is what business owners do. If they own a grocery store, if they own a Subway, it don't matter. If prices go up for them in any kind of way, shape, or fashion, they're not going to absorb the cost. They're going to say, my customers need to absorb this. I'm not going to make less money. They're going to say, and why? See, you got to understand why they make that decision. Some people say, well, they just need to really think about us. No, it's not that simple of a decision. Here's why. People build businesses to leave a legacy. They build businesses to leave a legacy. It's a choice between your grandbabies and their grandbabies. It's a choice between you or their sons and daughters and grandbabies. Who do you think they're going to choose, Willie?
It ain't going to be us.
Why would they choose you? See, we got to get this straight. The cable company is saying we building a business for our great grandbabies to make sure they got some money. You know how I know? Because Henry Ford started a company 100 years ago. And today that company's still paying his great grandbabies because he built a business. My family built jobs for 100 years. My father worked for 30, his father worked for 30, his father worked for 30 years. Nobody had $1 million, Willie. How do we work for a century and nobody got $1 million? See, this is what you got to get to. Let's forget all the other stuff that you heard. We must have been doing something wrong. Because in the same 100 years, Henry Ford became a billionaire. His family got $1 billion. My family had 2 nickels. See, you got to change the kind of money you making and get out of this idea that the president come to the rescue. His job is to run the country. And we can debate whether they're doing a good job or bad job on that. I get all that. But just understand, he ain't in the individual helping business. He's not in the Willie business. He's not in the John business. He in the America business. And them are 2 different things, y'all. Them 2 different things.
I like that. I like that a lot. I like how you say that, man. Because like I told a person this a couple weeks ago. I did a post. I said, everybody worry about, I know it's election season, like you said, and everybody worry about this person, that person. But like you said, man, it's not who's in the White House who is going to come and save you and help you financially. It is
Correct.
who is in your house and what's in between their ears, man. That's 6 inches of space. Man,
Correct.
that was hot right there. I'm writing that one down. Yes, sir. The president ain't in the people saving business. Yes, indeed.
Right. And I'm not
All
saying
right.
don't go.
Well, sir,
I
I
think
got one.
I think we gotta vote, but just understand you're in the wrong lane if you think it got something to do with you financially.
I'm telling you. All right. So I got one more question for you, sir,
That's
and then
fine.
I'm gonna let you get off here. Like I said, I know you under the weather, and I do appreciate your time and your efforts because it is you giving us some good stuff tonight. So, like I said, you've been doing this, like you said, you've been building your business for about 15 years now. All right. So
Mhm.
one of the things that I run into a whole lot is, people are asking me, hey, what is this you doing? What is this income shifting thing? And then when I share the information with them, and we have a conversation, the first thing a few of them would tell me is, I need to think about it. What would you tell the person who gives you that answer of, I need to think about it?
Well, realistically, okay, I think that people don't understand that they're the result of their actions and thinking. So, meaning, wherever a person is right now, it's a result of things that they thought and decisions that they made 6 months ago, 3 years ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago. Wherever you are in your life, okay? And if you got to think about it and you're not happy where you are, your thinking might be corrupted. It might be some problems with the way you see the world and perception. So, what I try to do is I try to get people to say, okay, let's take, for example, we got a company called MyEcon, right? Let's take all that out of it. And we ain't gonna talk about MyEcon. Let me ask you some questions. If there's a way that the IRS will allow you to legally pay less taxes, do you think it makes sense for you to do it? You can pose that question to them. If the answer is yes, okay, they don't need to do no more thinking. Number two, does it make sense if you don't have excellent credit right now to have excellent credit in 90 days? If the answer is yes, then ain't no more thinking involved. Number three, does it make sense to take some of the government's money that's coming out of your check? You already got money coming out of your check going to the IRS. If we can legally lower that by $200, $300, $400, $500, if we can take that money and pay off some of your car notes and credit cards with some of the government's money, do you think it makes sense for you to do that if you can? If the answer is yes, there's no more thinking required. Now, if you on that path for a little while, 6 months, a year, 18 months, and you pay off 2 or 3 credit cards or your car, and now you got the car note money and those tax savings, that might be $700, $800, $900 a month. Does it make sense to take that money and redirect it to your 401k or some type of investment account so you have some money for the rainy day? If the answer is yes, we don't need to do no more thinking. We need to do some acting, get some action involved. Let's get to doing. See, we got to be armed with new information. You can never get the right answer if you ask them the wrong questions. And since most people don't understand finances and how they got to where they are, they don't even know what questions to ask or things to think about. So we have to get them to look at things differently, if possible. But here's one thing we got to understand. Most people are not ready to see. See, we're never going to get everybody to understand. It's no different than you may have had this situation or may not, but I'm sure you can find some people that have this situation. I know women have it a lot. Two women to be good friends with each other, and one of them might be dating somebody, and her girlfriend might say, "Girl, I'm not so sure about him. I don't know. I saw him doing this and doing that. He said this," and the woman won't listen to anything at that time. She'll say, "Nah, girl, you whatever." But then one day down the road, they end up breaking up. Not the friends, the couple. And then one day they'll be talking, they'll be, "Girl, I don't know why I didn't see that when you was telling me about that." And you might even have guys have it happen too. See, the woman she wasn't ready to see what was going on. Her eyes wasn't ready to see. Her perspective wasn't ready to see. So when we get to this thing here called finances, many people are not ready to see yet. They're not in a position where their perspective has changed. They may have just gotten a good job, a pay raise on the job, and they like, "Ooh, everything is going good." They just bought a house. All these things happen. Those are very emotional things. Then here you come saying, "Well, some of the stuff you've been doing with money is not too kosher." And you got to understand that they've been doing this for 15 years wrong. They've been doing something for 20 years wrong. They're not ready to see quite yet. So I think what we have to do is just be mindful of that and keep talking to people until we find the ones that's ready to see. And I think the other ones will come around over time. But some people just not ready to go. They will and if you never change your perspective, you never have different vision. The Bible clearly declares if you lack, we're destroyed for lack of knowledge, but we perish for lack of vision. If we don't have the vision financially to see that we're supposed to be over here, we will perish financially. We won't make it to where we're supposed to go. So it would be great if we could just get everybody to understand. Some folks don't even want to understand. Others can't understand because of where they are in life. But if we can get half of them to understand, 40% of them to understand, I think we're doing good. And we just got to keep trying because it is a worthwhile fight. Because if people don't get this, they not only are messing it up for this lifetime, they messing it up for their kids. They messing it up for their grandbabies. Because life is supposed to be a relay race. Just like we have generations, and then you have a kid, and then that kid has a kid and all that, and life keep going. Your finances are supposed to do the same thing. You're supposed to build up something, and that can't be a salary on your job. It can't be the seniority because you can't pass neither one of them things down. So we need to build something that we can pass on to our children. And those children are now supposed to take that and grow it. And they will take that and grow it, and then they pass down to their children. And then down the road, we can look up 2 or 3 generations, and we got $35, $40 million. Or if we don't, we run the risk of everybody starting over on the relay race every time you have a child, and a child is born in your lineage. And I don't think your family can afford that.
That was a good one right there. That was a good one. All right. Sir, it is now 8:12. We have been on here for exactly 32 minutes from the time we started. And like I said, I'm gonna let you get off this, sir, because like I said, we got some. What I want to do is I do want to jump in these comments right quick because we got some people out here watching us, and we try to get a chance to at least see them pop up on the screen. We got Miss Bethany Rucker. She says, "Grand Rising, Country Boy, and JP."
Hey.
She said, "You still handsome and looking sharper, even with being under the weather."
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Those kind words.
Absolutely. We got my man, Mr. Keith Tucker, up there giving us the love right there. Hey, thank you, Mr. Tucker. We got Mr. Chauncey Reed here out of San Antonio, Texas. He said, y'all are dropping some serious nuggets. Hey, Chauncey,
What's up?
hey, Chauncey, I'm a student tonight, good brother. I'm in here taking notes, man, getting some of this knowledge as well, good brother. Thanks for hopping on. Miss Bethany said she just kind of reiterating what you were saying. People don't obtain financial literacy because they lack the discipline, procrastination, and the environment.
That's true.
All good things here. Um, I got a fella right here, Mr. Byron Arnold. Me and this guy right here, man, we was stationed together in Fort Lewis, deployed together and everything. He said what you're saying is making sense, and he also said that he liked that perspective that you gave us right there, man. Awesome,
Great.
awesome, awesome. So yeah, so Mr. Pettiford-El, man, I want to give you a chance, sir. Like for anybody who may be seeing this on my page or maybe seeing it on your page, if they wanted to reach out, sir, and get in contact with you, how would they go about doing that? Like, are you on social media? What platforms are you using? If they wanted to like say, hey, you know what, man, that fella said some good stuff. I want to be able to connect or at least follow him and continue to get some of that information.
Excuse me. Definitely on Facebook. All right, you can just look me up right there, Jon Pettiford-El. You look me up on Facebook. It'll be John Vincent Pettiford-El. You can connect with me there, send me a message, and a lot of times I get those. That's pretty much it. I mean, I'm on Instagram as well, J Pettiford-El. Just at J Pettiford-El. I am on YouTube as well, so all the same. But primarily Facebook, Instagram. You can find me.
Awesome. Awesome, awesome. So I'm gonna give you, hey, this is the floor is yours. I'm gonna give you the last few minutes, man, to give any parting shots, any parting wisdom that you feel like somebody listening to this needs to hear. You said some amazing things tonight, man. Like I said, I'm on a page and a half worth of notes, so I really do appreciate it. But parting shots, sir, from somebody who is living life in abundance, who controls all of their time. You do what you want to with whom you want to. Give us a parting shot, sir. What would you tell somebody who is just like they can't make along with themselves? They kind of straddling the line. They don't know if they want to get on or get off or whatever the case may be.
Number one, I will say you don't have forever. Your time is now. I think people tend to say, I can do it later. I'll put it off for tomorrow. No. While you got your mental faculties, your emotional faculties, your want to, your health, all that stuff, you should go now. Now is the time to start. If you got an idea for a business, great. If you don't, just buy it to somebody else's good idea. That's what Ray Kroc did with McDonald's. A lot of times people have this idea, I got to figure out something. I got to come up with something. No, you don't. Just buy into something that's already working and get busy. Go to work. Today is a great day to build a business. Not tomorrow, not next week, right now. And it doesn't matter what happened to you before. All the things that have happened to you happen to a lot of different people. We go through bad relationships. We go through ups and downs. We go through family struggles. We go through health struggles. We go through divorces. We go through a lot of stuff. But all those things don't define you. And none of that can stop you from being great. Today is your day to be great. The past don't matter. What happens right now is what matters. The decisions you make today to build you a new future. Because you can't go back and change whatever happened. We all made mistakes, including me. But on the other side is greatness. It's greatness inside you. And understand something. You're going to create a millionaire in your lifetime. It's either going to be you or somebody else. And I think you should decide to be you. That's my message.
Hey, man, thank you so much. Hey, check this out, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to wrap this up. But y'all heard what Mr. Pettiford-El said. He is on social media platforms, J Pettiford-El, Jon Pettiford-El. And of course, y'all know you can find me on all social media platforms, just like it is right there. Willie Ray Johnson Jr. I love my name because I never get a chance to hear it like I used to, but I sure like hearing it now. Mr. JPE, thank you so much for your time, sir, and your effort. It was absolutely amazing. Get off of here, go get you some. Let me see what Miss Rucker said right here. Some hot tea, some lemons, and some peppermint, man.
I'm going to get all that.
All right. Well, hey, man, thank you so much again, and I look forward to the next time, man. You have a good rest of your evening and a good weekend.
All right, thanks for having me. Good talking to you. Everybody, talk to you now.
All right. Take care. Bye-bye.